Hey, welcome back to College Algebra and Beer. Let's bring these equations to something real world like drinking beer and pre-gaming it. I know most of you kids are probably drinking beer by now because you're probably in high school or something. But anyways, let's make this thing work for you in your advantage. So pre-game, I actually drank the beers before I left. I walked to I'm going to drink 4 beers, then I'm going to walk to the bar and drink more. How much can I drink? Well, I can drink 3 beers per hour. Rough estimate. This is just a rough estimate here. How many beers can I drink in 4 hours? That's the question. Seems really easy enough. You can almost do this, well, you can do this in your head, and you can do it with just the basic logic here. But I'll ask you another question in a second. So pregame 4. So we're typically using something like the equation for a line. Y equals mx plus b. I might not ask you about how many beers can I drink in 4 hours. I might ask you how many beers can I drink in 7 hours or 3.25 hours or anything like that. And what if I only started with like 1.3 beers? So let's do it the right way using equations. Okay, so that being said, y equals mx plus b really doesn't mean anything to me because I don't drink y's and I don't drink b's. Hope you understand that. So let's go ahead and draw this out the proper method. So instead of drinking y's and b's, I'm drinking beers over time, right? So drinking beers over time, I'm going to put hours on the horizontal axis and the quantity or the number of beers on the y-axis or on the vertical axis. See, I already messed up there. So if I start with 0 at the cross section here, and I have 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, we know that we're drinking 3 beers per hour because it's given in the equation. I drink 3 beers per hour. So if an hour passes, I have to go up on my quantity by 3. That sure looks like a line to me, right? So there's going to be some line drawn that's going to look something like this, right? And I start off with a certain amount of beers. But I pre-gamed it. How many did I start off with? What is that B? Where do I cross the vertical axis? All right, well, we know that this point right here is my B because it crosses the vertical axis of beers. And I know I pre-gamed 4 beers. If this is hour 0, hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, and so forth. So at hour 0, I already had 4 beers. They correspond, and that is my B. That is actually my B. Okay, so we already have that, and we have the slope. Actually, we know how many beers per hour. So if I go over 1, how far do I go up? If 1 hour goes by, how far do I go up? If I drink 3 beers per hour, that's the answer. If I go over 1, I go up 3 units. So rise over run is your slope. Rise over run. And I'm going to tell you the run is the horizontal direction. So if I run 1, I'm going to rise 3. So what is my slope? It's going to be 3 over 1. I went 1 hour in the future, and I drank 3 more beers, which is equal to 3. Let's take that and answer this question on the next page here. So then we have this equation. The number of beers I drank is equal to 3 times the number of hours plus some pre-existing condition, not healthcare-wise, but drinking-wise, which was, I think I started with 4 beers. Okay, so the question was, to go back to it, the question was, how many beers can I drink in 4 hours? Easy enough. Let's go back to it. So in 4 hours, I'm going to plug in the number 4 there. So the number of beers is equal to 3 times 4 hours plus my initial 4 beers that I pre-gamed with. So that'd be 12 plus 4 is equal to my B. And so therefore, in 4 hours, I have had 16 beers, which I'm not a lightweight. I drink good beer most of the time, except for when I do these videos with an empty stomach. So in 4 hours, I can drink 16 beers. What if the question was slightly different? Let's do another question here. What if the question was, in how many hours will it take me to reach 22 beers? So let's start off with our equation again. B is equal to 3 times the hours plus 4. And I'm asking the question, how many hours before I reach 22 beers. So I want to actually fill in 22 beers for this B. So 22 is equal to 3 times some amount of hours I don't know yet, plus my initial condition, my initial pre-gaming was 4. Subtract 4 from both sides, we have 18 is equal to 3 times H. Divided by 3 on both sides, you end up with 18 divided by 3 is 6, so 6 is equal to H. So I can have 6 hours worth of beers if my limit was 22 beers. So that's all there is to it. I hope that this was relevant to you, and actually I hope it isn't relevant to you, but the fact is, at the end of the day, if I had an Uber coupon or something, or a gift card or something, I would say tag me with it. But anyways, always take an Uber home. Boom. If I could find the stop button.